One channel, different shows, everything entertaining. Make a Path presents Let's Talk. Welcome to Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes, and today, let's talk The Walking Dead 5B. Alright, Deadheads, looking at what little footage they gave us for the return of The Walking Dead, and they don't seem to be giving us any other footage. Now that, I'm actually happy with. They're holding off on a big secret, and I have another video coming up. A lot of us already know what that is because we saw the massive set that they're building for the second half of Season 5. To clarify, I don't believe that is the end of Season 5. I know there was a couple comments. No, I believe that's actually going to be a lot sooner. We are heading right to the big A coming up. Sooner than the end. Anyway, let's take an investigative look at a breakdown real quick of what they did give us coming up in episode 9, possibly 10 as well. Now the first thing we see is it opens to dirt. Not dirt that's packed in the ground, dirt that has already been dug up. So they are filling a hole, not making one. So this is more like the end of the burial service. Then we cut inside a house, and we could see a globe, a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde statue. We see a dresser, it's obviously a room. There's a framed painting of a house. And on that framed painting of a house, symbolically, we see the image of a shadow staring into a window. Now, is that going to mean something? Is that a clue or a hint or some kind of symbolism inside within this episode? Possibly. From here, we get music and sun flares. We see the point of view from inside a moving vehicle. We see trees passing by and what looks like a rear view mirror and dice. So obviously this is a point of view from inside the front of the vehicle, and we start to hear crying. We hear this crying and it's revealed that it's Maggie. She's crying next to a fire that's been extinguished, and the point of view is inside a car. Now next we get a point of view from inside a doorway, from inside the house looking out. Now there's nothing on the outside, but there is blood, fresh blood I might add, because we will see this image later on when Tyrese and Noah are in the doorway. But right now, no one's in this image. There's clothing, it looks like a hat on the ground outside. There is blood, fresh blood on the walls and some on the glass door. We hear Father Gabriel talk. It's funeral talk. We see Noah in a yellow shirt and he's crying with a fresh cut on his head. We see the funeral, but only through the weeping willow trees, or whatever those trees are called. We see Father Gabriel, Eugene on the right, Michonne on the left, Glenn to the left of Father Gabriel. There's a mound of dirt and that shovel. Carl is holding Judith. Tara is paying respects. Again, this is funny, I think, because in the image that we got in the Comic-Con trailer, Tara was paying her final respects to Bob and walking away. Here at Beth's funeral, Tara is the one also paying respects and walking away in that same movement. And I'm wondering if that's coincidence or did they just throw that in there on purpose. We see Glenn, and he is in his red shirt. We see Daryl by Rosita and Eugene. Then we see images of them running with guns out, and Rick's shirt, I put a question mark by that in my notes. Trying to remember. Rick's shirt, I think the question mark is because that is from when we saw him in episode 8 and previous. He had that same shirt on. And Glenn, I have that he has his red shirt on still. So we know that in the burial and the montage, when they're running with the guns out to the car, that's probably in the montage scene. Glenn still has his red shirt. Rick still has his shirt on. So that's probably going to be within the time skip. Now, me personally, the breakdown of this video, I do feel like that is Beth's funeral. I do feel like we will have a time skip. And with this breakdown, if we put it together with the trailer, we see later on Tyrese and Noah are in that doorway. And it's identical, except for that bright red blood that we saw in the beginning, which this is probably the very beginning of episode 9. And they'll probably get there later in episode 9. That blood we saw, that's bright red, it's now dark. You know what I mean? Like a period of time has passed on. That could have just been with filming. They could have, propped that house up, filmed it with the cinematographer. Because if actors aren't around, the cinematographer films it. I would probably believe that they would film that all in the same day or within the same week if it's all stayed set up the same way. However, whether the blood was just an accident, you know what I mean, that it got darker if they filmed it a different day, or if it was done on purpose, that could be a hint that when we saw it in the preview, it was earlier on, and people probably had died pretty recent. So if people had died pretty recent, our group could be showing up in an area that is going to be possibly overrun. Now, I don't want to ramble on. That was just a quick breakdown of what we got in this sneak peek. Don't forget, this isn't just the breakdown of the trailer. I'm going to try to get out a couple Q&As, and I'm going to come back with a breakdown of the trailer, and I'm going to try to do one of putting them together with my final thoughts. So stay tuned. What I will do is, if you're on a computer, I'll try to pop up some annotations here so you can click on that and go to any follow-up videos right from this video. Alright, Deadheads, if you have anything else you want to add to that, please do me a favor and leave that down below, because I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.